project, we're going to start with our 6mm hook. We're going to make our slip knots. We're working on this top from the top to the bottom, so you're going to take your measurements that's above, which is the area above your bust, and then that's going to be the length of our foundation chain that we chain in the beginning. You're going to go back on it and make sure it's straight because we are going to be connecting it together. So you connect it through this first stitch with a slip stitch, just like that, and then go into the next stitch and slip stitch through those two loops. Once you slip stitch through, you're going to place a stitch marker over here because we want to remember our first stitch. We're going to switch from a 6mm hook to a 5.5mm hook. You're going to go into the next chain and place a single crochet, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over the last two loops, and then you're going to go into the next chain and repeat that similar pattern. So yarn through the first and yarn through the last two. Again, yarn over, yarn through the first, yarn through the last two. So this is going to be our pattern for the row. We're going to do this until you're here, and then I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do on top of this stitch. So just continue working on your rows as I have showed you. Once you get to your end, you're going to remove your stitch marker, go right into the front loop, yarn through the first loop and yarn through two loops, and then you're going to place back your stitch marker. Always do this for every row. Place your stitch marker back so that you remember your first stitch, and then you're going to continue with the similar pattern. You're not going to chain one, you're not going to flip your work, you're just going to continue placing the same pattern as we have been doing on this row. So again, yarn through the front loops. We're going to be doing it on the front loops only. So go through the front loop, yarn through the first loop, yarn through the last two loops. So now we're getting into our third row. Once I'm on my third row, I want to start increasing because I want to start working on my boob coverage area. I added 2 stitches because I want to start increasing on the side panels, not this middle stitch, because I don't want any pattern forming in the middle. But because we're doing this stitch in a spiral, I don't think any pattern is going to form even if I do increase. So I'm going to work on this third row. Once I get to this stitch, I'm going to increase by placing 2 stitches in the same stitch, and then work my way back around and also increase over here. I've placed the same color of stitch markers on the side and a different one in the middle, just for me to easily remember what my side stitches are. Once you're at the middle, we're going to remove our stitch marker and then place 2 in the same stitch. Once I place 2, I'm going to place my stitch marker here just to remember where I increased, and then I'm going to work my row back down and increase here and do the same. I'm going to be increasing in alternate rows, which means the next row I'm going to do after this, I'm not going to increase, but I'm going to increase in the other row. So I'm going to do this and work on a portion of my boob coverage. Once we're there, I'm going to show you guys what we're going to be doing next. I've worked my way up and I'm on my 9th row. I did 3 sets of increase, so I alternated, as I said. This is the row I did not increase, and this is the row I increased. So I'm also going to be decreasing the same place where we increased. I'm working up to the stitch, which is here, so I'm going to decrease this next 2 stitches. What I'm going to do is yarn over through the stitch, pull through the first loop, and then yarn over through the second stitch, pull through the first loop, and then you have 3, so you're going to pull through all 3. And then once I do that, I'm going to transfer my stitch marker. I'm going to continue placing 1 in every stitch as we've been doing. I'm going to work on that until I get to the second place, which is here, and then I'm going to do my 2 stitch decrease, and then I'm going to come and go back to the first point of my stitch. I increased a total of 6 rows, so I'm going to start working on my decrease, and I'm going to do the same number of decrease that I did of increase. My waist length is smaller than the length above my boob, so I'm going to work on the same numbers and then probably increase a few more rows of decrease. So now I have 3 more stitches to go so that I reach my final stitch. So I'm going to place a single crochet in this next stitch. In this next stitch, I'm going to place a slip stitch. I'm going to remove my stitch marker because we don't need it anymore. I'm going to slip stitch into that last stitch. So that completes our final row. Now we're going to begin on our decorative pattern all across our edge. So we're going to chain up 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into that very same stitch. Into the next stitch, you're going to place a single crochet. Chain 3, and into that very same stitch, place a slip stitch. Into the next, place a single crochet. Chain up 3. So this is going to be your pattern for your edging. As you can see, it's forming like a ruffle effect. So you're going to do this all the way around. You will definitely know where you began because of this point. We worked on our body stop from top to bottom, so we're going to be doing the same for our shoulder piece. So this initial foundation chain is supposed to be the width of your arm. So just take a measurement round. It's not supposed to be the length, so I hope that's clear. So I'm going to work and make it all tapered down. Yeah, so let's do that. Once you've placed your 3rd row, which is of increase, on our 4th row we're not going to increase, so continue just placing 1 in each stitch. So we've just completed our 4th row. So for rows 5 to 8, I'm going to place a decrease in every row in the front 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches. I placed my decrease on row 5 and 6. So now I'm on my 7th row. On my 7th row, I'm not going to place any increase or decrease. I'm just going to chain in every chain. I'm going to do this all across this row, and then I'm going to place 5 more other rows, so until row 12, where I'm not going to be increasing or decreasing, just placing standard rows as we have been doing. I am now on my row 13. So on the 13th row, I'm also going to place a decrease. After decreasing this row, for my next 2 rows, I'm not going to place any increase or decrease. I'm just going to place standard rows. And then on my row 16, I'll probably decrease, but let's just work up there. As you can see, it is starting to form like a tapered arm. So that's what I'm trying to achieve with my decrease. I'm now in row 16. So in this row, I'm going to be decreasing. I'm also going to come back and decrease over here, and then from the row following after that, which is 17, I'm going to place 12 more rows where I make no decrease. Once I'm done with all that, I'll meet you guys back and then we'll proceed. I am currently on the 31st row. So from here, I'm going to be decreasing in alternate rows for the next 3 sets. As you can notice, I'm trying to get it to fit completely, even on my wrist area. I just placed stitch markers to show you where I did my decreases. I alternated my decreases on these rows, and then from here to here I did not do any decrease. So now I'm on my last row and I'm going to be doing a decrease on this row. We're almost at the end. We're going to place a single crochet over here. On the next stitch right after that, we're going to place a slip stitch. Also do the same on the last one. Place a slip stitch, yeah. And that does it for our rows. You can make yours however long or however short you'd like. So now I'm going to show you guys how I did the edging, similar to the bodice we did. So when you're at your end, you're going to chain up 3. And then in the next stitch, you're going to place a single crochet. And then chain 3. You guys remember this from the first time I showed you, but this is a refresher. So again, go right into that same stitch with a slip stitch, and the next with a single crochet, then chain up 3. So I'm going to show you guys how we're going to be putting it together to make one complete piece. What you're going to do, you can wear this and you can mark out where you'd want your attachment to be to your side panel. I'm going to use this side to demonstrate for you guys. So we're going to attach this side using single crochets as I'm doing. Make sure you go through the front and the next loops of both your panels, and then yarn through and yarn through. So we're going to do this until we are able to attach it till here. Once you finish putting your side panels together, you're going to now start working on your decorative edging. You're going to attach your yarn to your project as I just did, and then you're going to chain up 3, go into that very stitch with a slip stitch, just the very same design we've been doing for our edges, and then you're going to go into the next one with a single crochet, then chain 3, and then do the same all the way around, and then we'll be done with the top. So that does it for our top. It's now complete. If you love this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you do end up recreating this, I would love to see it. Do tag me on Instagram at hotloops. If you do have any more new requests, I would love to hear them out too, so leave them in the comment section below. Please do subscribe and be sure to turn on your notification bell by pressing the bell so that you're notified of my new videos. I do make weekly postings, so I hope you guys will find a design that you like. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for watching.